Thanks for joining us, everyone. We're lucky to have Bernadette Galvez again with us today from the Madison Fire Department. Uh, you know, last time we saw Bernadette, she's talking about fire safety, if you all remember. And she said, if you want to have me another time, let me know. I said, be careful what you wish for, because we're always looking for good speakers. So Bernadette, welcomed, and thank you again for joining us for pedestrian safety, basically.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and
Yes.
get started. And if you would, everyone, please mute yourselves. Bernadette doesn't mind if you chime in during the presentation, right, Bernadette? So
Right.
feel free to unmute yourself if you want to talk. But otherwise, just to keep the static down, mute, okay? All right, Bernadette, hit it.
Thank you, Mike. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming. I absolutely enjoy speaking to everybody, and just like Mike said, to please, if something comes up, don't wait, because if it's like me, it's like I want to ask a question, but I'll ask later, and then you forget the question. So even if it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it's a question you want to know, just say Bernadette, and absolutely I will be happy to help answer it. So good morning, over the sloppy morning. And I was talking to Mike about, actually Zoom can be actually a good thing also, because you guys don't have to get in your vehicles or walk somewhere to a meeting. Because first of all, we usually get, when it's a first snowfall, no matter how much snow we get, everybody forgets how to drive. So just slow down, right? So even when it comes to that, some of the things, and I know I love being outside, I love walking and all that, but a couple of things that you should think about even before you leave your house. Good shoes. I'm sorry, but I don't like Crocs. They're slippery, they're not form-fitting to your feet. They slide, so get really, really good shoes. Even if you go to what's the one at Hilldale, there's good shoe stores, especially for your feet. If you have, different problems with your feet, just get something that fits you. They even do have, I know some people have a hard time, my mom does, just tying her shoes. Yes, thank you, Ashley. Just Morgan Shoes is a good place for shoes. Even REI, just places that still have people that fit your shoes, not for you just to grab it and go and you think it's okay. Get really good fitting shoes. I did get my mom a pair of those Kizik shoes, because she's not so flexible. Those are the kind that look like they're tied already, but you step into them, and she walks really well in those, and they stay on her feet, because she has a tendency to have the shoes that don't have a back, right? That you slide your feet in. Even my chiropractor says those aren't the best type of shoes. Again, I know those are easy to put on and off, but you want very, very good fitting shoes, especially when you're walking around. The other thing too, even if it comes to pedestrian, but within your apartment too, just make sure that the throw rugs, I don't like those. Those are a trip hazard, okay? Grab bars, everything like that, just walking anywhere, right? So this is even before you get out of the house. Make sure you look at the weather, okay? Make sure you look at the weather. Bring an umbrella, bring a hat, bring the appropriate clothing. Even if you don't necessarily need a cane, you can bring one just to help steady yourself. Also the walking, they're white and they're red, okay? The canes, even if you don't use those, you can use them as a walking stick. Everybody uses even 2 walking sticks for just walking, or even on hikes and all that. It's okay. Those are actually really handy to have. But even those red and white ones, you can wave those. I know a lot of people who are their sight wasn't the best, and you'd always see them with those, whether you can see or not. Those are actually nice to have, because the vehicles can see that cane if you wave it and lift it up. and let them see you. So stop at the corners. So we had this thing for little children, and it's called Safety Town. And I did not know this, but it was a crossing guard. And if you notice on certain intersections, there's actually a line in the sidewalk before the ramp. Stay behind that line while you're waiting for the light to turn green and for the walk sign to say walk. We do have the countdowns, okay? We do have those countdown intersections. What kind of helps is if you don't think you can make it within that, where that number is. So let's say you got there and you're like, can I make it within this amount of time because it already started? Then don't. If you're guessing, don't. Then just stay on that corner, okay? You have time. I'd rather see you guys wait on that corner and stay there till it turns green again for you, than to guess that you're gonna make it. So what scares me the most is when there's a vehicle, right? And there's another lane and you can't see that other lane. And that vehicle just keeps going because the light changed for them. So be really, really mindful when it comes to the lights to change. If it says stop, just don't go. Just don't go. The other thing too is when you're in a corner and the people are close to you, they may want to turn right. They're not looking at you. They're looking at the traffic. So I would step back from that corner and just wait. I know it's eye contact. Eye contact is absolutely important. Don't move. Do not move if you do not do eye contact with that vehicle. You're not going to win. That car's bigger than you. So when you're at an intersection and somebody wants to turn right and you're there, just don't move, because that person's not looking at you. They're looking at traffic. And again, they might not look your way because that might be a one-way street. So they know traffic's not going to come this way, right? They're only going to come from the left, and they're not paying attention to the pedestrians. So stay still until that car goes. And there could be a game. No, you go. No, you go. No, you go. If they keep doing that, I step away and I don't even look, and I wait till they either go or they because their light might be red, right? But you can turn right on red. So just, again, I would sit still until you know that it's okay for them, to go. Uneven sidewalks, okay? Uneven sidewalks. They do have yellow markings, but that doesn't help, right? So they're supposed to fix them. The city's supposed to fix them, and who pays for them? Your house. If your house is in front of that, you pay for that. But uneven sidewalks, be careful. Again, a cane or a walking stick can come handy with that, because if you kind of stick it in front of you, just walk slowly, and all of a sudden there's this uneven pavement. Just be mindful of that, because trees, we love trees in Madison. So those trees are going to buckle those sidewalks. So be aware, and the city has been better about fixing those. So uneven sidewalks. We have also those pedestrian lights that you can hit, right? And it's going to flash yellow. And it tells you, and it's not at a traffic signal, right? It's like in the middle of a street. There's one example on Raymond Road, where it's the flashing yellow. There's one on top of East Washington Avenue. Okay, again, don't assume don't assume they see you. Okay, just walk and keep looking and make eye contact, because people are. It stinks sometimes because everybody's such in a hurry. So even though those lights are flashing, just make sure they're supposed to stop, right? In Midvale, there's one on Midvale. So make sure that they hopefully that they see you. They should stop. The one on Midvale, if you guys are bikers, the one on Midvale, the bikers sometimes don't hit that button, and they're supposed to, so that traffic stops. So it's again a game playing thing. The light's not flashing, and the cars will stop. The car next to that person may not stop because that light's not flashing and they don't know why that person has stopped. That biker, pedestrians especially, but that biker needs to hit that button to flash those lights to tell people that you are going to cross or the biker's going to cross. What's neat now is Madison has really, because we are a biking and a pedestrian city, things have improved, I believe. But again, not all vehicles, not all drivers agree with bikers and pedestrians. So just be very, very, very careful when it comes to that. When it comes to crossing a very wide road, medians, we have, the city has made medians so you can stop in the middle. And sometimes what happens is there's another countdown and another button in the middle of that road. So if you make it halfway, you stop, you hit that other button, you wait, and then there's another countdown and you hit, you make it again across the way. So that's nice. The confusion of also, so there's a lot of construction. That's also another thing. It makes you go across the way when you're not used to going across, but you have to sometimes because the construction zones have gotten rid of that pedestrian walkway or the bike walkway. So it will tell you, it should tell you ahead of time, pedestrian bike lane closed. So they should have a place where you can cross to get to the other side. And again, you might have to make a big box, but again, when it comes to construction sites, you've got to be mindful of that because they should have somebody making a stop or slow down sign. And again, I travel up from Station 11, which is by Wild East Town Honda. I go all the way from there, from Station 11, all the way. I take East Washington Avenue all the way up to the Capitol until I go around to Dayton Street. So there's construction, and I've seen the bikers, and the bikers can't go because the dump trucks and the pickup trucks, or the dump trucks and the cement trucks, are in their lane, right? So they have to figure out how to keep going because that's their mode of transportation, is biking or walking. So again, be mindful of that when you're walking. Be visible. If you guys have any kind of reflectors, whether you carry an umbrella or a can again, or even on your clothing, even people wear those vests you can buy inexpensively, like at Harbor Freight, or even, I don't know if the dollar store has those, but even those reflective yellow vests so they can be seen. What's really fun, I know the Children's Hospital used to sell those a lot, are lights that flash, whether you're in the daytime, nighttime I don't like walking, but they have the lights that are really, really cool in colors and patterns and all that, but make yourself seen. That is so important, is make yourself seen. Somehow make yourself seen.
Some places, Bernadette, in town, I've seen, we have these little red pedestrian flags, right? And so that makes it easy. But if you don't have those, it wouldn't be outrageous to pull out a handkerchief, a white handkerchief or whatever, and wave it and say, I surrender, let me go.
Yes, yes. They even have, yes, I think, I don't know if safe, Ashley, you're from Safe Communities. I don't know, a long time ago. I think it was requested or somebody found it. It's almost like a beacon and of light, and it even had a flag that you can extend. So it had both, and it was really, really cool. That they can have that, and they could again wave that as they cross the road to be seen. But yes, and signs. I know as pedestrians, you should also be aware and be, you need to read the signs, okay? It's not only, the signs are not only for vehicles, but there's signs for pedestrians. Please pay attention to those. If it says no pedestrian crossing, don't try to do it. Because you look on the side, on the road itself, okay? Because there are designated crosswalks that you should do. If it's not there, take another route to another crosswalk, but don't make it up. And then still don't jaywalk. I know it's tempting, but don't, because then you're going against what some of the traffic patterns and the others are doing. So again, I work up on Dayton Street and in State Street area. You know what's zipping around and they don't pay attention are those mono wheels, those electric skateboards and electric scooters. Those things are fast. So be careful, okay? They're the ones that need to yield. They're the ones, just like a biker, they're supposed to stop on the stoplight. They don't, especially down here where there's UW students. I know when I was growing up, there used to be a lot more, and I know UW has bike cops, but there used to be a lot more of those out and about. But be careful, because those can run you over. So stop at those lights, look again, think back, look left, look right, look left again. Okay. You've got to be careful when you're out there. There's all these weird things that are out there that are quick and fast. And even if they're not motorized, there's skateboards, there's scooters, you know, things like that are out there that can be you know, that they can run into you or you know, so just be careful.
Didn't we just have another pedestrian?
I was going to show you, this is a vest that I own that can also, you push a button and it flashes on the front and the back. So it's nice if you want to walk at night, but even during the day, if you didn't want to use the flasher, it's one of those, you know, reflective.
Right. Where did you get that, Jane?
I ordered it online from Amazon. And the thing about this is I used to walk on the Southwest bike path. I used to ride my bike or walk. And when bikes came by and I was wearing this, they always said, "Oh, like your lights."
Good.
And that path used to be so dark, you know, before the lights.
Good.
So this is very visible.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I see that the lights themselves and reflective strips.
Right.
Great.
Right.
I don't know but do you remember about how much that cost?
It was probably around 20.
Okay.
The other thing that I know, you can also see, like a lot of bike stores will have different reflectors. Like this one goes around your waist.
Good.
This one goes around your ankle. So there are cheap things that have a light. And again, this one has a light too. So it can flash and be seen. And it's also reflective.
Okay, good.
Bikers often have lots of, my complaint is that a lot of bikers and pedestrians, they wear black at night and you can't even see them.
Right,
you know?
Right. And it's getting darker earlier. Absolutely. I know I'm a Navy. Our uniforms are Navy and I have flashlights and things. Absolutely. Well, great, Jane. Thank you for sharing that. I know even
the other thing I was going to mention is that someone pointed out that if people carry a cell phone, you can also turn the light on the cell phone.
Yes.
And use that as a light to, you know, if you have nothing else and you're walking in the dark.
They also sell those not very expensive headlamps too.
Right.
Those are nice also. Good. Thank you for sharing. What else, Mike? While I'm thinking. I know I talk really fast.
I'm just thinking, wasn't there a pedestrian killed just a couple weeks ago? I mean, often, you know, you're thinking you have the right of way, but these cars are not watching for you, right? And so you walk out in and it's flat. There's no second chance, you know, if you're hit by a car. So you really have to try to get their attention. Don't just walk out into the crosswalk and assume. I mean, I'm always warning my wife, who's crossing the zebra crossing. She's from Europe, and they have these zebra crossings, the crosswalks all over the place. And she says, when I'm in there, I'm, safe. But no, you're not safe. You have to be really careful because these cars aren't looking for you, right?
Right.
They're looking not to be hit themselves by a speeding driver coming down Raymond Road.
Right,
So,
and that's where it's also confusing, because I know a lot of UW students say, well, I was in the crosswalk. Well, my light was green. That doesn't give you the right to, you've got to also be safe. So the other thing too is not only here on campus, but and I don't know, Mike, that pedestrian one or what happened, but a lot of people are looking down. They're looking at their phone. They're looking at they're not looking what's going on. They just keep walking. And that's another thing that can be bad, is people, again, they're not paying attention. And also, whether they're looking at their phones or not, they have the earphones. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to know what my surroundings doing around me. I don't, if I hear a car or, I don't know if you guys bikers and skiing and stuff like that, they go on your left. I want to hear people. I want to hear people if they have something to say. But yeah, yes, a lot of people in those the phones and everything, just people are not really paying attention. And you're right, the other way around, the vehicles also. But again, even though you think you have the right of way, just watch out. Just be really, really, really careful. What else, you guys? Who are the walkers in the group, avid walkers, what's worked or what has not worked for you? Or what can you suggest? I have some poll. So if there's anything you want me to mention to anybody, so I don't know, Mike, if this was the group. It might not have been. There was an intersection. I believe somebody was either hearing impaired or sight impaired. I think he was sight, and always walked. And there was one light that he used was having a difficult time. So I mentioned it to engineering, and they put one of those beep beep, like the ones that would help him. It would sound for him, and he knew when to cross and things like that. So if there's anything also that you guys notice, let me know and I'll see what I can do. And before I forget, I know I'm totally changing the subject right now because of the weather. And I don't know if you guys use Yaktrax, those things you put on your shoes, and they're like the coils. Please, please, please be careful with those when you hit tile. Don't wear them on tile. Don't wear them on certain surfaces, because you are going to bite it. You're going to it's like being on ice. They have improved where they're more spikes and not the coils. So if you end up putting those on the bottom of your shoes while you're walking when it's icy or snowy, be careful of the Yaktrax that are coiled. They do work, but not when you hit tile. And so take them off when you go inside. I wanted to hit that because I know I'd forget. What else?
Bernadette, I just wanted, I'm Lisa, I'm here in Oak Creek. We've had an issue here. I just was speaking at one of our senior community centers a couple of weeks ago, and we recently had a resident complaining about the fact that they moved a bus stop. And because of that, the residents have because from where they live and to be able to cross over to, there's a Target and a couple of other stores across the road, they moved the bus stop. So now where the bus lets them off, they have to walk way down to the corner to cross. And so now they're crossing where they shouldn't be crossing. And they were asking me about it. I work for the police department. They thought that I could do something. I have encouraged them to call, the mayor, the alderman, city hall, that sort of thing. But I just, wanted to, kind of I pick your brain, see if there's
Sure.
anything that we might be able to suggest to them, because there's nothing that we can do to, it's the county, it's not us that has moved the bus stop.
How's your relationship with so ours is called Madison Metro? How's your, which is the bus?
I'm actually down in Milwaukee County. I'm in Oak Creek, so I'm down in Milwaukee County.
Do you have a relationship with the bus company, with the bus? people?
I'm assuming someone at City Hall does.
Okay, I'm fortunate enough where, we work very, very, very close together, Madison Metro and Madison Fire. In fact, if we ever had a fire, we call Madison Metro, doesn't matter what time of day, and they'll come for the residents so they can stay warm. And also for the firefighters, they'll have a separate bus, of course. And it's a good thing that most of the stuff is, there's no carpeting. They can just spray it down because of
Sure.
soot and stuff like that. But we have had that issue where they changed. So we have transfer points. So they changed the routing before. So there's south, west, east, north, whatever. And so the pattern changed. And some of these we have actually been able to add routes where they weren't having, it almost sounds like Oak Creek too, but it's owl. It's the animals like that. So we got buses to go that way. And so we added that. Now, that's huge, Lisa, when it comes to the elderly population making their own route where they should not be crossing. So that's huge and unsafe. So you don't, not only including that area, the where the elderly are housed, but do, I don't know if you can get even video, the traffic, right? We have traffic video. So traffic engineering, I'd include, if you can, include them, include your bus, include the elders. And do you have like listening sessions at all?
They do, they'll have ad hoc ones if there's a specific issue. I don't think they have regular ones.
Okay, and also not including that area, but even on your own, and I don't know, some of our fire stations have community rooms, or just get a community room or a library on that side of the street, not where they have to cross, and just get their input. And once you do that, I would invite people, the elder in that neighborhood, and I know it's different because your area is so much larger than ours is. But you have to start in baby steps, but it would just be absolutely a tragic situation if somebody died over something that they use, right? And like you said, there's a target, and that's where they shop, and that's their livelihood. So I would start with that, and then I'll keep in touch, Lisa, because I'll see if even my connections have connections there in Milwaukee.
Thank you.
What's your county?
We're Milwaukee County.
Okay.
Yeah, in the city of Oak Creek.
Okay, I'll follow up with that with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. All your last names. Good.
Yeah, Lisa's been coming to our triad meetings for quite a while, and it's nice to have her active with us, bringing perspectives from another area in the state. So
Absolutely.
find out what's going on over there in Oak Creek every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoy these sessions. They're always really informative.
Great.
Terrific. Well, thank you. Okay, Bernadette, back on the road.
Yes, and in fact, Lisa, Chief Joe Pavemacher was the fire chief in Oak Creek. He's now with one of our areas, Pittsburgh, which is what, 20 minutes, Mike, maybe from Madison, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
across the street from me.
yes, yes. So what else, walkers? I just want you guys to be prepared. You know, it's almost like, you know how you should also, this is the way I think, is sometimes is like, you want to have a first aid kit in your house, right? Just in case, Band-Aids, ointment, you know, gauze, just thermometer, just little things like that. Or even silly thing also I'm thinking is even have a little sewing machine, or not a sewing kit, you know, if you have a little thing where you want to sew a button on, you have just the little things where you can go and grab. That's the way I think about pedestrian walking, is things that you can think of that you may want to have with you, like even what the fanny pack is coming back. They call that a cross bag now, but it's still the fanny pack. So fill it with things that a flashlight, you know, don't forget your glasses, you know, just things that, gloves, a hat, reflectors, extra reflectors, stick it in that bag and have it on your, even a backpack, you know, a small backpack that does not have to be heavy. Walkers that like to walk longer, don't forget your water bottles. Please, please don't forget to hydrate, because you need that if you're walking and you enjoy it. Madison's just, we have so many trails and so many places that are beautiful to walk, even just in the Arboretum, the zoo, the parks, but have water with you also, you know, just something to have. The other thing is have a cell phone. Have a cell phone just in case something happens. I do want everybody to, if you can, have the buddy system, you know, always, or if you can't have a buddy system, let somebody know where you're going, you know, what area you're going to be walking in. You know, I'm going to walk in this area. If I'm not back within so many hours or minutes or whatever, please come find me, or make sure you're fine, because maybe you stop to talk to a neighbor, right? And you're fine. But you know, you want that person to check up on you. I don't know. I've learned, but I don't know if you guys know how to use the iPhone tracking, like I don't know if you want to call it spying, but I did it for my mom. You know, I put her on my iPhone so I know where she is, and it tracks where she's at. So I don't know if you share that with family or a neighbor, or something like that. Let them know where you are also. Having your phone with you is just, you know, also a good thing. If you don't want to carry your phone, have identification, some type of identification on you. If you don't want to bring your license, you don't have to, but have even a card stock or something with your information. And I'm not saying your social security, anything like that, your name, your address, a phone number, or a emergency contact phone number. If you are diabetic, you do have a history of anything, I hope you do wear a medical bracelet. One of the first things we'll look for is we'll reach around for a necklace if somebody has a med necklace or your bracelet. We'll look for that, and then just look. You know, if you're diabetic and you know, we have your insulin with you just in case, or a snack with you just in case. But think ahead, you know, but have something prepared with you just to have.
One thing that people haven't, kind of forgotten is that, you know, if you're found unconscious on the road by the police, they have no idea if you're a diabetic, you know, and so as part of your identification, you should definitely carry along a little life file. We have these little kits here, you know, and basically it's just your name, address, critical contact, and any immediate medical concerns that you have. And that is right there beside your ID.
Yes.
Right. And so
I just wanted to add, it's interesting that you bring this up, because I'm preparing some documents today, and I'm going to send this in the chat. There is a feature on your iPhone where you can put all this information in there, and an emergency contact or emergency first responders can actually access that information. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's actually the source document that I'm using right now to create this document. And it's just a way to, put in your emergency contacts, put in if you are a diabetic or if you're allergic to a specific medication, that sort of thing. And it is, I think, something that's really, really important that everyone, not just seniors, but everyone should do in their phone.
Yes, yes. And if you guys are a bit confused on how to, you can always go to YouTube. YouTube has all the answers. But it shows you everything. It's weird. It's, how to do anything. You can, and there's all, like, you won't just find one, you'll find many. So if there's one where you don't really quite understand it, go to another one, because they do explain things, which is really, really nice.
Well, be, of course, careful, when you're looking on the internet. If I get something on the internet from Lisa or Bernadette, I'm pretty trusting of that. But if you get something from me on the internet, you be a little careful.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert in any of these things. So
Yeah, but YouTube on instructions is it's pretty good.
yeah.
See what else?
I was going to make a suggestion when people, during the winter, you still have to get your groceries, and there are multiple ways you could do it. You could order your groceries if you don't want to go out and take a chance, and they can deliver. You can go and pick it up and not get out of your car, or you could go and then use the cart, get a cart from the place where they have them, and just walk with the cart into the store. So there are some different options for how you could get your groceries, because that's something we all have to do, whether it's snowing or not.
Right. Yes. Instacarts and all this stuff. Yes, absolutely. It is nice. Just trying to think here. So also, there was like a AARP. That's a good source too for people over 50. 40% said they don't have adequate sidewalks when I was talking about sidewalks, and 47 said they can't cross their main roads safely. So, it's hard. Just remember, I know this stinks, but just remember, we're all getting older. So as we all get older, things like you guys last time didn't see me, I didn't have glasses. So my vision, right, so everybody's vision declines. Then also, we were all very physical. We all ran around during recess. We played tag, right? So just remember, we're not as flexible. We're not as physically fit as we were. So again, if you can do anything, I think I brought this up before, just even if you just move your arms, move your legs as you're standing up, just swing your leg out left to right, kind of march in place. You want to get your knees up, right? You don't have to, not like the people on the football teams do, just raise as slow as you want, just raise your knees, just get your joints moving and get them lubricated, right? You need to move them. If you just lay there, they're going to atrophy. They're not going to do you any good. So even if you're slow, it's okay. Just get your movements going. Just remember that, focusing and attention wise, it's a little slower. Your reaction time, it's increased. So do you guys know, you ever heard when you're driving, right? You're supposed to take a stationary sign or something. And when that car passes that stationary, you're supposed to go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. And you're supposed to be past that stationary object. The reason why they say 2,000, right? 2 seconds, that's the average reaction time of a person. So if that person has to stop, it takes you about 2 seconds, like to think, oh, that person has stopped, I now have to step on the brake. So that's why you usually have to do 2, 1,000 between you and that car ahead of you. But of course, what happens? Somebody sneaks in between you and he or she, so you got to back up again. So I know it's a pain, but your reaction time increases. As we all get older, your reaction time is not as quick. What's nice about these newfangled vehicles, I don't have one yet, is my brother has one. It's a Toyota RAV4. His vehicle will not allow him to get a certain distance behind that vehicle in front of him. It automatically will slow him down. He can't get close. And he used to tailgate as we were growing up, but that won't allow him to get that close to that vehicle, which is, it's nice. It's nice that the vehicles are now doing that. They're also, I have for work, I have a Ford Transit, and it will scream at me. It will, red lights flash, beep, 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 if there's a pedestrian that is trying to cross and they're too close to my vehicle. I tested it in the station. I didn't, to see, and yep, so they are trying to make it better for a lot for the driver and the pedestrian. So it's helping. So it's like 1:45. So I wanted to read you, this is data from the National Injury Surveillance System. So on average, between 40 and 50,000 adults are treated at the ER each year, and that's non-fatal. So these are pedestrian injuries, okay? 40 to 50,000 older adults on average. 92.5% of these injuries are a result of an older adult falling or being hit by a motor vehicle, okay? Falling, tripping. More than 9,000 older pedestrians fall-related injuries each year involve a curb, okay? Such as an older adult tripping on a curb. My mom did that. She tripped and she tucked and rolled. She made it. But the curb is huge. Also, again, take your time. Take your time. Don't drag your feet if you can help it. Again, these exercises come in very, very in a good way, right? When you guys are at a crosswalk and you see the signals, okay, if it's not a time countdown, when you see it flashing, don't just stop. Okay, that means it's about to turn. When you see that hand or the don't walk and you see it flashing, that means stop. Okay, like a yellow light, that stop. Don't cross because it's about to change. So don't forget that. I do like our countdown now. I do like that. Another thing, I am not tall. I'm 5'1.5". I don't like parking lots. The reason why is because these vehicles, well, again, these newer vehicles are getting better where they'll sound, but be careful. Be careful when you're in a parking lot. These pickup trucks, they're big and I don't like them because they're big. And of course, my husband has one, but I sometimes walk not directly behind these vehicles, but sort of in the, if there's a sidewalk in front where you park, use that sidewalk to get to the store. And sometimes what I do, you guys, is I actually grab a cart. I sometimes grab a cart so I can push that in front of me because I'm a bigger target. I mean, I don't like being a target, but I'm bigger. Like then more people can see me as I walk if I have to walk to the store, right?
That's a smart idea, Bernadette.
Yeah.
With the cart. I'm wondering though, where do you suggest people walk in a parking lot? In the middle of the
Yes.
driving area, or right behind the vehicle so you can see the driver?
Well, I avoid going right up against it because then it's less. So if you've there's a spot at the top. This is again learning from when we were working with the kids. If you are in the driver's seat and you put stuffed animals right behind your vehicle, even up to, I think we went to 10 to 12, you can't see them because they're right behind your vehicle. But as you distance away, then the more you can see it. So sometimes what I do is I do walk in the middle, and I look both ways and I look for those white rear lights. I think in the future, and I think they might have changed their mind, They wanted all vehicles when they put them in reverse to make that awful noise. Or even a beeping noise. Yeah, yes. So, but if you can, I know, where was I? Home Depot. I think I was at Home Depot. When you park, I think there was also a Target in some prairie. When you park, there is a sidewalk in front where you walk. That's a pathway. So use them if you can. I think, yeah, Home Depot was one of them. So yeah, because remember, in a parking lot, sometimes, so I kind of like angled parking lot because it's a one-way. If it's not, they can go either way. You know, we can drive up either side. So be careful on that. Listen for engines. I'll see again, you can't hear engines sometimes. Electrical vehicles, you can't always tell that they're on. So, but listen sometimes when you're in near vehicles. Buses are neat, you guys. If you take a bus, they can lower, and you can ask them to lower the bus for you. They call it kneeling. So they can, you can, it doesn't matter if you're in a walker or a wheelchair, it doesn't matter. They can lower that bus for you. Just ask the driver, and they can do that for you. It's pretty cool. Don't run for the bus. If you can help it, don't run for the bus. They have apps that tell you exactly where these buses are. I know in some of our bus stops, it tells you electronically when the next bus will be there. So those are pretty cool too. So some ideas too is, if you can, avoid windy days. The reason why, because sound, again, if you need to, and I know wearing hearing aids is not always ideal for people. They don't like wearing them, but if you do go out and about, try to wear your hearing aids. Glasses, like I mentioned before, carry a cane, and look, and because people will look at you when you do carry a cane. And when I say that, sometimes not just the walkabout canes, but also the red and white ones. And choose your path with the least hazards if you can, and scan ahead of where you walk. And again, you can always call 911. Don't be afraid to call 911. Okay, if you fall or just you can do that. Just call 911. Here's another thing, no matter what, if somebody falls and they're with you, don't try to pick them up. Call 911. That's what we can do, because I don't want you guys falling either. And there's actually a specific way to pick up people. But just be careful. But when you're out there, again, Madison is just, Wisconsin as a whole. I mean, we go up north all the time, and biking trails, walking trails, you know, just being outside is just good for you. You need the vitamin D, and you need the fresh air. Don't you guys remember? I remember this. My parents made us play outside. Well, I love playing outside, but the more fresh air we got, the more tired we got, right? So then it also just helps you. Just the air is very good, and just be outside if you can. I know it's going to become winter, and people are going, Bernadette, I hate winter. But it's you know what? It's still pretty, and it's still nice. But
So what's
enjoy
the,
being a pedestrian.
let me just ask you, what's the, how long does it actually take an ambulance to get there, or a fire truck to get there to help? If someone says, hey, my walking partner just fell down,
Yes.
you know, and our natural thing is to try and help them get back up, you know, but how long
Right.
does it take to get some help in the city?
Excellent question. So depending on people, if they see it or actually call, 4 to 6 minutes is our target time. We have 14 fire stations, right? But we only have 9 ambulances. And ideally, it would be 14 fire stations, 14 ambulances. We only have 9 ambulances. Again, it's money, training, and all that. But everybody on the fire department is an EMT. So Hilldale, if somebody falls at Hilldale, we have engine number 9. They don't have an ambulance there.
Mhm.
but they can stabilize that patient, then medic 4 from campus, or 2 from across from Swagler's can come, and that's where the ambulance comes in. But we need people also to call, because if you're like on a path and we can't see you, we don't know you need help. So the sooner you call 911, the quicker we will get there. If you're not sure, it's okay, you guys. We don't mind. We don't mind if we say, are you okay? Is there anything you need? And then if you don't, it's okay. We will just go back, but we work 24 hours. Don't think you're being an inconvenience, because you're not. We want to help you guys. It doesn't matter if it's at 2 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter if it's 3 in the, it doesn't matter. We are there to help you. But the other thing, while we're talking about this location, if you can use a landmark, or if you remember last time where you were, a landmark, or if you have more than one person, and if you can, or if people are passing you, say, hey, do you mind going to the path and just waving them in to let us know, let them know where we are? Because, and they can, there are some, dispatch can kind of know where you're at using your phone. They can say they're about here, they're about, we can pinpoint maybe because they'll triangulate. But if you know that, that's very, very, very helpful. But they can, it's actually, the technology is getting better. They can actually, because I remember one time they said, well, they're behind the Quick Trip. They fell, they're by a dumpster by it. They say they're by a dumpster, and they're not absolutely sure where, but the dispatch said they're at that Quick Trip. So they kind of can tell, but 4 to 6 minutes, Mike, that's our goal. But we need people to call. And that's also because if it's a heart issue, we need to get them in that timeline.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Are there any apps? I mean, with mine, I mean, sending someone your location from Google Maps, I mean, that's pretty easy if you know how to do it. You know, does everyone know how to use these location finder apps to transmit a location quickly?
So,
I mean, does that
one
ever help?
That one I don't even know, Mike, but I know I've heard it. I know that's well, but I know if you have an iPhone, it's automatically on your apps, you guys, and it's Find My. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Okay.
No, you can't, but it's called Find My, and it's a green thing. It's automatically on your iPhone. Okay, Ashley, a good one. People worry about being charged calling 911 and calling for an ambulance. Okay. So for I don't know if it's any different in any community, but for us, if someone fell, there's a lot of places that they're called no lift. They're not allowed to lift them up because, again, they could get hurt. You call 911, somebody has fallen, but they're not injured. Yes, call 911. We will help lift that person up. A lot of people slide out of bed, slide off the toilet, slide off their recliner. Okay. We will help lift that person back up and ask them. First of all, we'll ask, are you hurt? No, I just need to get back up. So then we'll get them up, put them where they were, or else what we also do is we actually help them and then watch them walk to their chair, right? What they know they can ambulate. So we know that they can also move, but we will also take their vitals just to make sure, because something might have happened. I don't know if you guys know, but sometimes on the toilet, it's if you're pushing like you're pooping and something and you fall and collapse and you don't know what the heck happened, that could be your heart. Okay, but no, we do not charge to get you up and to lift you to return to you where you are. The thing is, yes, you're absolutely right, Ashley, where people don't want to call because if they are transported, yes, you will be charged, and yes, I've heard it's expensive, but that's where your insurance should come in, Medicare should come in, and also there are I can't remember what it's called, but that can help pay. But honestly, better to get checked out And if you tell the paramedics, and talk to the paramedics, they won't force you. But if they know something is absolutely wrong, we had a lady, my friend and I took a break and we were at Culver's and we noticed something was wrong. So I called 911 and even the coworkers knew something was wrong and she wanted to go home. So the paramedics talked to her, took her blood pressure, and it was low, too low. In fact, the paramedics did not want her to drive. So they asked their coworkers, she needs to go to the hospital. And she refused. But the paramedic said it could be just a medication adjustment because she was on new medication. But if she continued to do that, she would have gone downhill quickly. So then the paramedics are not going to force if they don't think you need to go by ambulance, but then they will say, you know what, you should go by, this is our suggestion. So you won't be forced, but yes, if you are taken by ambulance, yes, there is a cost, insurance and other things. But honestly, you guys, and I know some people think if they go by ambulance and go to the hospital, they're not coming back. I know that's the thought of some people, but it's your health. And think of it this way. The hospital and medical care has changed a lot. It just might take you beta blockers for a stroke, right? Within the 2-hour window, they get you there quickly, you'll be back to normal. But you got to get to the hospital within that window. Same thing, something's going on with your heart. Oh my gosh, you can't even tell nowadays that people have had a triple bypass, but they made it to the hospital quickly, and they went and did what they were supposed to, and the doctors got them in there, a stent, right? They get them right into the cath lab. You get there quickly and you'll be back to walking around, and you can't even tell some of these people had those huge life things happen. And if you get them quickly, everything will be fine. But you know your body, okay? You know your body. Listen to your body both ways. Something's wrong, get it fixed. You're in the doctor's office, your doctor's not listening to you, close the door and hold the door shut and say, something's wrong. I know something more than it's more than just the flu. It might be a virus, it might be something. You know your body. Listen to your body. Okay. There are good doctors out there, but you know your body the best, and listen to it.
Any other questions for Bernadette? A lot of terrific information today. What else?
And if you guys think, once you hang up, if you think of something, email Mike, and Mike can always email it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So Bernadette, if you're
Yes.
calling for a lift assist, do you still call 911?
Yes, you should. Yes. In fact, sometimes what happens is they'll call for the ambulance and the engine will say, it's a lift assist, we'll take care of it. There's 4 people on a fire engine, 2 on an ambulance. And why the engine company does that is because our medic units run more frequently than the big red rigs. And they can, again, they can help. So what you say, Jana, let's say you fell. Say, I've fallen, I'm on the floor, I'm not injured. I'm just too weak to get myself up back into my chair. And then they'll take that, they'll type it in, and then if they'll help you up, and then they'll confirm it with you, right, that you're not injured and you're okay. Do you want us to take your vitals or anything like that? The engine company people can also take your vitals, your blood pressure, listen to your heart. We're all trained in that. Check your blood pressure, your blood sugar, right? If that happens, but yes. And then we can go, and you're okay. Yes, call us if you need us again. That's basically what happens. But yes, please don't hesitate. Because then what happens if you're on the floor, and unfortunately this has happened to people for a couple days, right? They try to get up. So here's another thing, you guys. I know it's 11 o'clock that I do with my mom. I said, okay, Inai means mom. My parents are from the Philippines. I said, Inai, I'm with you now. I want you to get on the floor And I want to show you to show me how you would get up if you were to. So she rolls over on her knees, and then she'll get on her on a chair to push herself up, and then she can get up that way. But she rolls over on her knees, because it's hard, even me, if I'm on the floor, I can't get up off of my back. You guys, you need to roll over if you can do it safely and you're okay to do it, and then you can get up. But Jane, if you need help to get up, please call us. It does not matter what time. We will help you.
How would a crew get in your house if you have the doors locked and you've called and need
Good one.
help? How do they have their little "I can get in your house anyway" kit?
Yeah, good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Either you'll call. So here's another thing. Good one, Mike. We have something called black boxes. So you'll see them on all buildings, commercial businesses. We have something called a residential lock box. Okay, you can hang it on your door, you can mount it on your house. I'm going to tell you guys, they're kind of expensive, but if you have a residential lock box, we as a Madison Fire Department have a key, and that key, we have, in order to get it out of our vehicle, we have to punch in part of our social security number. So we get it out of the vehicle, and then we open it on your lockbox, and in that lockbox is a master key. Mike, I will send you a link to that.
Okay. You don't have like a burglar's toolkit with you?
Well, we can always break a window.
Yeah.
If we have to, we will. If we have to, yes. And what we also do is we'll peek through windows, and
Yeah.
we'll see, like, if somebody's on the ground, we'll say, yes, we see a person on the ground. And we try to find an unlocked way, or
Right.
we will get inside. But that
I was
lock box
just
is good.
thinking, you know, I live in a bi-level house, you know, so it's a half floor up or it's a half floor down. I'm
We'll
gonna
come-
crawl to the edge of that stairs, and then I look over. I'm not gonna be
We'll
able to get
climb.
over there and unlock the door for you.
We'll climb up on the window. We'll climb up on the roof, and we'll look up on the window. And again, we will, we know we can get in.
Okay,
We'll
all
get
right,
in.
all right.
Yes.
Or get one of these residential lock
Yes.
boxes and
Yep.
and
And
have that
then-
installed.
Yes, and then let us know, because then we know, we'll put it right on the computer, and it will say to the crew, not lock boxes on the house. And then because we don't like codes anymore. We don't
Mhm.
like that. We don't like putting it over. We won't put it over the air. We don't even like it on the computer. We want something where we don't have to do that.
A key, you want a key.
We have
So
a
this would be especially useful if you have someone, you know, who's aging in place, you know,
Yes.
who might need, you know, someone to come over, right? And so that
Well,
would be definitely
that
something to
would be for
consider.
us. That would not be for neighbors. That would be only us that we can get in that box. You guys will not be able to get in. That's only for us to get
Mhm.
into the house.
I see.
Yeah. Good one
Oh,
though. Good
yeah.
one.
Well, if you have questions, everyone, feel free to, you know, chime in, or if something comes up, send me a note and I'll pass it on to Bernadette down the line, and she'll get back to you, okay?
Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You stayed 6 minutes later.
Well, thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you.
Fantastic presentation.
You're welcome. I always enjoy it. Everybody,
All
please
right.
take care.
Will do. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.